Second. I should pop on. Okay, where is it at? Where is the live stream at? Do you see
What's
it on Facebook? Oh,
Yeah, it says live. Is you talking about the truth hurts? Is that what you talking about? It's down at the bottom.
okay, hold on. No, this ain't it. This is my PSA. I don't see the live stream. So if it's not on Facebook, that means we're not on. Okay. It's not on Facebook, that means we're not on. Okay, let's see. It's not on Facebook.
There we go.
Okay. All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Bridging the Gap between Black men and Black women. Again, I have
You gotta turn the volume down or something.
okay. How's that?
It's better.
Okay. So we know the audio is good. So again, welcome to another episode of Bridging the Gap between Black men and Black women. And I have again my beautiful sister and friend Alonda. Alonda, welcome to the show again. Thank you as always for attending and supporting.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so we got a good one for you tonight. The truth hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So
The
what we're
truth
gonna
hurts.
do is what we're gonna do is we're gonna show some segments of Samuel, Kevin Samuel. Okay, and what we'll do is we'll talk about it. So what
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna play this, okay, and here we go.
The foolishness of black women celebrating Kevin Samuel's death. The bigger picture, USA collapse. Welcome to Manosphere Highlights Daily. In our previous video, I gave you my thoughts on Kevin Samuel's death. And as I said in that video, I was not there, so I don't know what happened. I also did not compare Kevin Samuels to Dr. Martin Luther King or Malcolm X. I just highlighted that men, black men in particular, with a certain level of power, have a target on their back. Quoting a paragraph from the FBI's COINTELPRO report about preventing the rise of a quote-unquote messiah. Kevin Samuels was reaching a lot of people with his content, and with his passing, a lot of people had something to say about it. There were a lot of positive things said about Mr. Samuels, and people are sad that he's not with us anymore. But on the other hand, there are also people that are happy that he's gone, and this clip stands out.
Well, me and Lisa Ray both had the whole side eye. Like, what the hell? Is he kidding me? Healing, healthy. This man was a hypocrite, in my honest opinion. He really was. I didn't find anything about him to be healing. He insulted African American women on a consistent basis. One of his last statements that he said was that if you're over 38 and you haven't married or something like that, that you're no good and disposable. To me, it was a shock jock. And, you know, I hope this is teaching folks a lesson about the karma that you put out, the negativity that you put out in the world, that when karma.
Okay, can you hear me, Alonda?
Yeah, I can hear you, and I can understand where she come from. Yeah, Kevin Samuel's definitely controversial. There's a quote that says, "A man's success is measured by his wife and his children and what they say about him. money and accomplishments mean nothing if you let your home fail. And really, Kevin Samuels, at the end of the day, if you look, and this is factual, he died in debt. He died behind on child support. He was a 2-time divorcee. He didn't even have a good relationship with his daughters or his previous 2 ex-wives. So, yeah, at some points he did have, he had some facts. And we do understand that men do rape women. Okay, we get that. But at the end of the day, he could have been a better representative of a black man. And I know he was just trying to be shocking and controversial, but he was also an unhealthy black man. He was a college dropout. And for everybody to think that he was Messiah, he wasn't. But like I said, he did have some great statements that he made. And, his support system was black men. And he was speaking for black men as in barbershop talk. So that's what I got to say on the opening part of it.
Well, with anything, and I'm gonna talk on the opposite side of that. With anything, despite his role that he did or didn't play as a father, as a husband, despite his health issues, we have to look at the fact of what he brought to society in this social media realm. Okay, a lot of people didn't like him because of his dialogue and the way he conveyed his thoughts, right? And
right.
As true as that may have been, he exposed a lot of women in their fallacy to believe that they deserve to be with men or deserve a certain lifestyle that they didn't earn. So and that's what brought us to this topic, the truth hurts. Despite his deliverance, and I've watched almost every one of his podcast shows, there's a lot of things that I agree with, and there's a lot of things I didn't agree with. But one thing I don't agree with is how women celebrated his death. I think that's a sign of ignorance. I think it's a sign of maliciousness. Despite what he said to those women, he didn't say it to them. And for you to take on that thought, that mindset, to say karma had nothing to do with it. The man had a health issue. They even tried to rumor that he was with a prostitute. I did the research.
Well, but he was.
Well, how can a woman be a prostitute if she got the credentials, medical credentials, that she was a registered nurse?
I mean, there's several different types of prostitutes, but she definitely was. And I mean, he was also known to be with Brittany Renner, another, high profile stripper, prostitute, what she called body count.
But here's the thing, despite what his personal life was, and people would say, well, he was a hit with what Vivica Fox said, and she got a lot of backlash from making these statements from a lot of professional people. When we talk about what he did, let's not talk about what his personal life is. Let's talk about the truths that he spoke. Oftentimes, more than not, when he talked to these women, let's forget about his deliverance. Did he or did he not tell the truth? Was his points valid? That's what we need to consider. Okay, because you got to remember, she classified him as being a shock jock, right? And we know what a shock jock is. This is a person that creates controversy to build up their prestige. Okay,
Mhm.
so if that was the case, and all he was a shock jock, why did these women keep calling in, knowing that he wasn't going to do nothing but belittle? Why?
Yeah, I didn't understand that neither. I
So,
didn't understand that neither. Why did y'all keep calling in?
so we have to keep in mind that when we talk about women, particularly Black women, because this show is about women of color. Okay,
Hmm.
a lot of women don't want to hear the truth, and I think a lot of the things he said was the truth. Okay, because you have women that now I don't believe that women over a certain age can't attract men. I don't believe that. Okay,
Right.
but I do believe when he said it's a fallacy for women to believe when they have nothing to bring to the table but ass and words that you're going to attract a man that has a lot of power, a lot of status, and a lot of money. Why would he be attracted to you when he has so many options? That's a reality. I don't care how you slice and dice it, because most women, whether they look good or not, if they don't fit a certain criteria that a high value man is, as Kevin classified her as being, those men are
Hmm.
not concerned about you making 150 grand when they're making millions. They're not concerned about that. What they're looking for is a certain type of woman. And if you bring a lot of kids and stuff like that to the table, oftentimes those men are not going to even consider you. So
Hmm.
those things that he spoke about were factual. Now, one thing that I did disagree with him is how when the women antagonized him and they made him go on this personal verbal assault, when he asked them, okay, do you plan on getting married? They said, well, yeah, or they hesitate. Okay, what's your dress size? And most of these women were obese. They were overweight. And he said, well, welcome to the stage, Magic.
Hey,
You know,
Magic.
we can't hear you. We can't hear you. Yeah. So when he asked their dress size and when was the last time they weighed themselves, and when he compared their weight and their physical anatomy to that of a man, I felt that was wrong. Okay, that part was wrong. But when he start breaking up this fallacy world that they lived in, that they were obese and they had minimum wage jobs, and they was going to attract, because they looked good, they had long hair and pretty skin, that they were going to attract high value men. That wasn't going to happen. So if he was a shock jock for that, then it is what it is. But most women, Alonda, we talk all the time, they don't want to hear the truth. And society has conditioned people to give women that don't deserve it accolades for what? You know, I don't
Yeah.
go I don't go around and criticize women, but if I see a woman, like, give you an example. I'm at work, okay? And we were having this conversation the other day, and I said, you know what? I don't understand how we make all this money. We got some of the best benefits, and these people won't go and get eyeglasses. They won't go and get their dental. They won't go to the doctor unless they're almost dead. That's just my opinion. But I don't go around and say that openly so a whole bunch of people can hear, or insult people either. You know what I'm saying? So if you
Hmm.
get the platform and people call in to join in or participate on that platform, why would the masses get mad when these people are calling to be entertained? Because that's what he did. He just basically entertained these women. So why would people get mad when he spoke the truth?
Right, but the people that support him can't get mad when basically he's not living the life a high value man life when he passes away alone. They can't get mad when all of a sudden it's like, well, how are you speaking to women that's not supposedly high value in his mind, but yet you're not living high value in your, even though you're well dressed, you presenting yourself well, you look good, you have all this visual things going on, but your lifestyle, your home life, your relationships is a complete mess. I mean, it's one thing to, just preach and just preach at women, but he was putting down women. You know, you can't do that. You can't do that, and your whole home life is a failure. You can't do that.
But who's to say what a person can and can't do? Because we live in a
I
society
mean,
today where
as far
everybody
as a
wants to be
podcast or being on television or saying certain things out of your mouth, no, uh, you can do it, but you also you have basically is the other side of the coin. Then
backlash.
people can also t- put that mirror right back on you.
Yeah, I
You
agree with
know
you. I agree with you on that. You gotta walk the walk and talk the talk. You can't
exactly.
you can't just. I'm all for people having an opinion, doing what they need to do to get the publicity, to get the follower. I'm all for it, but stand 10 tones down on everything that you say.
Right.
Everything that you say, you have to be you if you're talking about it and you want people to find validity in it, you have to be that of what you speak.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Okay, and I agree with both of you on that. So, and I'm kind of put a little twist in this. So, what about all these pastors that we got that's making multi millions of dollars and
Same
flying
thing.
all
That's why
over the world?
we hold their feet to the cold. We gonna hold his feet to the cold.
But I don't see.
But the best
Okay,
the best thing that came out of Kevin Samuels is the fact that he got women and men to start speaking about what they want in their lives, in their relationship. That's the best thing he did.
okay. So what about Steve Harvey?
I mean, same thing. Steve Harvey, his feet is to the cold. Will Smith's feet is to the cold. A whole bunch of them. Look, ain't nobody. I don't think nobody is sit there don't have the whips, the belts.
Did you say
They,
Steve Harvey?
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Who is
yeah.
actually listening to Steve Harvey, especially now? With all the controversy he has going on in his marriage, there's nothing that man could say today that I'm going to follow, listen to, or even consider.
Okay, but when did you come to this conclusion that you're not following him anymore? Because
Because
it's
it falls back to what Miss Alonda said. You have to be able to live in what you speak. If you are speaking a certain way and putting terms and titles on certain behaviors and characteristics, you have to also occupy those things in which you speak. Period. That's it.
Yep.
Who are you to judge when your life is in shambles? If your life is in shambles and you're judging, then share your shambles with the people also.
Hmm. Yep. And you best believe rotten fruit will fall by itself. And
Yes.
o-
it sure did fall on him,
Yep.
whether
okay.
in life or death. Shit.
Okay. um, here's the thing. Let's get back to the truth hurts. The reason I chose to talk about this subject, and I chose you two women in particular because of your vast knowledge. You're black women. Um, Alonda, you're married. You're single, Magic, but you have a perspective that I can relate to. Um, and I'm pretty sure as time go along, there will be people, guests on the show, who have a perspective that I can't relate to. But I want to be mindful and respectful of their perspective, even though it differs from mine. Okay. But I pose this question to you as Black women, as mothers. When we talk about the disparity that exists between Black men and Black women, okay, me and you spoke earlier, Magic, when I was reading you the letter, the Willie Lynch letter.
Oh, one of my favorites.
Yeah, and we have to be mindful what we say on this because it's going through Facebook and YouTube. Okay, so we don't want to get shut down before then. I really don't want to get into that right now because I don't know the boundaries in which these people allow you to speak about certain things like that. But my point being is, me and you, we agreed on certain segments of that letter. And then there were certain segments we didn't agree on, but we never got into a great debate. We never got into a heated argument or anything. We respected each other's perspective and we moved on. So my question to you at this time is, why? Let's talk about three categories. I have three categories. Let me grab a pen, and because I want to put this to the test to both our audience and to you. And these are the three categories we're going to talk about. Okay, we're going to talk about the truth hurts, right? And why these people do, or women, particularly Black women, think the way they think and do what they do. Okay. Okay. Feminism is one. Okay.
You already know I'm going to tell you feminism is power.
Okay. Give me a second.
Okay. I ain't want to pause, you know.
Okay. Independence is number two, right?
Okay. Power
And
again.
number three would be modern day woman. Okay, so let's start with feminism, particularly Black women, not women as a whole, as a race or as a gender. I'm talking about particularly Black women. Let's keep in mind we're addressing a predominant Black audience, and we're talking about Black men and Black women.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm waiting.
What's your question?
My question is, with these three categories, how do you feel they balance to make women embrace the ideologies that they have today? And why does this ideology that women embrace today conflict with men?
That's such a broad, open-end question, statement, remark that first.
I think it requires men to step up.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that statement. Absolutely, I do. But every woman is, your audience needs to understand first. You generalize. And the way I think, I don't generalize. And I don't always, for me, my glass is always half full, period. It's always half full. So I don't generalize, I don't categorize, I don't judge. Everybody is the way they are for whatever reason. Economic reasons, upbringing,
Right.
life experience, so on.
But I have to generalize. I can't bring, what do I do? Go around and just pick women and bring them on the show and talk about the issues that I feel they have?
No, but
Nobody's
your
gonna do it.
generalization almost blankets a majority of Black women, which is not an accurate account of how a lot of Black women think.
By whose definition?
By reality.
No.
By reality.
Show me some proof of that.
There's no way to bring you a proof by number. For one reason is because all of us are not cut from the same cloth. So based
Agreed.
on that alone,
Agreed.
we aren't going to think the same. We aren't going to have the same ideologies. We aren't going to believe this. We aren't going to have the same definitions of independence. We're not going to have the same definitions of feminism. Because
Okay, so
it's not all cut from the same cloth. So what you can say is from the women that you've experienced or the women that you have experience with are this way.
Right.
No, because I haven't had a intimate experience with my relatives, and they think the same way as these women I've had experiences with.
But
So,
that's,
Okay.
see, there's a difference between intimate and experience. I said experience. Experience can be a relative. Experience can be a friend. Experience can be co-workers. Experience can be someone that you have been intimate or had intimate relationships with. Experience doesn't just necessarily mean somebody you've shared your bed with. Experience means day to day. Experience means year to year.
okay, so let me ask
So-
you this thing.
So
Let's
I'll
take-
give you an example of independence. Okay. I am independent in my money making at work, just moving around in my own personal space, right? But with my marriage, I'm not independent. Within that marriage, I'm not independent. You know, I give him we both communicate and we both agree to come up with what works for both of us. You know, I don't just do what I want to do all the time.
But wouldn't you, Alonda, in all fairness, be an exception to this whole thing because you're married? Your whole perspective is different from the women that we're talking about.
No, because I think a lot of women would love to communicate with somebody and not just do everything by themselves. They would love to communicate with a mate and decide upon, you know, just say anything, the meal. They don't want to just make all the decisions. When majority of women, when they get in a relationship, they kind of want to relax. They may not know how to relax, but they want to learn how to relax. They want to try.
Yep. You're
Okay,
right.
so
I agree with that. I agree with that.
So what would you tell the audience, the people that's listening, even the ones that you don't see up on the screen that's watching, you know, because, you know, both of you have been encouraged to me because I get this lash back after the show. It comes after the show, not during the show, you know, after the show.
Right.
When I wake up in the morning, my inbox and messenger is gonna be full. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, better yours than mine, because I'm gonna put it on airplane mode. I'm going to sleep.
So my thing is, what encouragement would you give to Black women so we can dispel, for myself included, I'm gonna include myself, dispel this mindset that I formulated about Black women. I love Black women. I love you. I just can't communicate well with a lot of you, but there's women Black women I can't.
Do you love them? Can you be in love with them? Can you be in love with them? Loving them is fine, but can you be in love with them?
I don't know. That's kind of like
you playing. You on here playing. Quit playing.
But you know what? Here's it.
Yeah. Switch it up. Go ahead. Switch it up.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna answer that question, and I'm in all fairness and all honesty, right? I would love to love a Black woman that I'm compatible with, but I haven't found that woman. So until I find that woman, because here's the problem I have, okay? When I meet particular Black women, that we start to express our belief system, and when it differs one from the other, that's where the conflict comes in at, because we don't try to see what the problem is and try to bring resolve to it from both perspectives, and then meet in that happy medium. It's like we bump heads, and it's like, well, I'm not gonna give because I'm a man. You're not gonna give because you're a modern day woman. Independent, whatever you women want to call yourself, but I think that's the problem. But to answer your question, yes, I would love that. don't like being single. I don't like being alone. I don't like dating multiple
I'm
women.
listening. Hold on.
You know, but you know, I don't have anything to prove anymore. You know, so I'm not trying to get any notches on my belt to see how many women I can sleep with. I'm still in search for that woman that I'm compatible with, which we all are to some degree. You know, but what
So what
advice
walls do she get? So what walls would she have to knock down in order to, you know, get in your chamber?
First of all, she can't talk.
Oh, damn.
Wow. Listen.
Okay, we better go. We better go back. You know what? We better get back on Kevin Samuels. You know.
Listen.
I'm just kidding, Ramon. I'm just kidding.
No, it's fine. It's fine because you know. let me say this, right, and bring this out and open. Me and Magic are friends, okay, and we used to talk. You know, we were engaging in a relationship that never came to fruition. It never manifested. And what she's saying is indirectly is that what I said earlier is that because we had different perspectives and she conveyed hers in a certain way, then that was in disagreement to my perspective, and we just never met on that happy medium until we decided to part. Now we have a better understanding with each other. So with that being said, I still need you to convey to these women out here that may be listening, that's in these toxic relationships, and these women that choose to engage with men that have no substance by anybody's opinion, okay, and that cannot bring any conduciveness to their well-being, but they still choose these men. Why? Because when you get hurt by a man or a woman, then that's conveyed oftentimes in the people that you meet that had nothing to do with that. And that's one of your lines, Magic. So
right. You know, we know the men hold on to them first grade loves. Man, that girl just tore him up.
Hey, what
You know
does that mean?
that girl that stole your bubble gum and you really wanted it. I don't know, on the playground. That chick.
We have to touch the basis on why the truth hurts so much. Why do people embrace a lie as opposed to sampling the truth? Because
they really don't want to do the work. At the end of the day, they really don't want to do the work. They comfortable in the past and they comfortable in not healing, and they just, you know, they want something to blame. But at the end of the day, they're going to have to do the work. Because I would hate to see a lot of these women 60s and 70s talking about what happened to them when they was 5 years old. You're going to have to do the work.
So, well, I think it would you say it'd be safe to say that most of them going to die alone with dogs or cats or whatever kind of pet they got?
I would not say that would be the truth for women. I would say that would be the truth for men, because statistics is showing in the rehabilitation centers that is higher for men. Women have families. Women have their kids. Women have their parents, their aunts, their nieces. So women have way more. Pardon me?
Men have the same thing also.
No, not necessarily, because they don't build those relationships. Not necessarily. They don't build those relationships. They don't take time to bond and, you know, improve on them relationships. A lot of men, when they get a certain age, they get angry. They get what word I want to use? They get real callous and mean because they haven't accomplished a lot of the things that they wanted to accomplish.
Yeah, you nailed that.
So they don't take the time at all to realize it's not the person that caused the problem, is them zigzagging through life.
Right.
You know, they
But,
actually,
but
men,
wait a
I would
minute.
say by the time they get 45, I think men need to start really focusing, period. And if you need to accomplish something by the age of 60, do it. Because if you don't, you're going to be an evil old man.
Well, I'm talking about that. That could be said for both genders. Okay,
No,
so
but see, but the difference is women can come out of it. They can go find a friend to talk to. A man will be in that one bedroom apartment, and that dog on house gonna be so dark that when you come over there, you gonna open the windows for him.
well, I know women that live like that now. So I'm talking about
Well,
that can
that's
be
probably
said.
depression. Yeah, that's probably depression.
Yeah, with depression, it doesn't matter. Men have the same propensity to create relationships with family members and friends as women do.
But
It's
women don't be walking, talking angry. They just don't.
why they don't. We got them in our workforce every day. We see them. So
Uh,
that's
but
not true.
mm,
That's not true.
yeah, that's a different type of anger. That's something totally different. Yeah, we got them, but that's something totally different.
Anger is triggered by multiple things. What we're talking about here is
But
relationships.
normally men in the work area, they're really nice in the work area, right? They can be an angry old person at the work area. They're gonna be nice. What they do is when they get home, they take it out on everybody else. That's the difference. The woman is gonna find an outlet, whether it's a friend, a daughter, somebody. They're gonna find an outlet. They're not gonna be as angry. They're not.
Okay, okay. If there's any validity to what you're saying, why is there so much disparity between if you're putting your gender above men to be greater because they have more compassion, they're more affectionate, they're more able to relate to other people, then why is it that women are doing all the things when it comes to relationships? They're divorcing more, they're walking away from their families, they're destroying the household based on what? Their independence and their femininity? Come on, man.
No, I think wasted time is worse than wasted money.
Yeah,
They don't want to waste their time
exactly.
with somebody that's unwilling to work with them and
Okay, so
compromise.
so here we go again. What puts women up on a plateau above men?
That's
I don't
not
What makes a
it.
know.
woman, what makes
That's
a
not
woman's
it.
time more precious than a man's? My
That's
time is
not
just as
it.
valuable as
That's not
yours.
it though. That's not
Yeah,
it. You
I don't think that.
that's
Yeah,
not
you
it.
thinking of levels. I don't. It's not a
Yeah, that's
level thing. It's not a one
Well,
up thing. It's not a
I'm
one up
going by
thing.
I'm
It
going by
seems
what
like it.
you're saying, Alonda. You're saying they're not willing to waste their time with men that don't bring anything to the table. I find myself in that same position with the women that I interact with. So
Yeah,
because
so
but
the
it's not a one
that's
up
the
thing.
problem. That's another one of the problems when people try to get into relationships. People so worried about what's being brought to the table, who has a bigger table, who has a
Right.
better, nicer, better place setting at the table. What you need to
Exactly.
worry about is your compatibility first. Who gives a fuck who has what at the table? If you don't like that person and you really can't get along with that person, whatever is on the table doesn't even matter. I don't
Right.
care. I can have Versace china on my table, but if I got a fucked up disposition, that table looks like it's Walmart wear. So it doesn't even matter.
Exactly.
You can have a job, you can have good credit, you can have everything in life that you want. But if your character and personality is not likable by the opposite sex, you are not going to find what you want, period. So sometimes some people have to adjust their character, their personality, some of their ways in order to be likable and compatible with people. I don't care how much you have or how well you can present yourself at your table, it isn't going to matter if what's inside of you and what comes out of your mouth does not match what's on your table.
Exactly.
It's
Well
true.
said. Well said.
As
Thank
true
you.
as that, as true as that may be, we as men, because you're speaking from a woman's perspective, so I'm gonna speak from a man's perspective.
Mhm.
We encounter the same things as you're talking about.
Mhm.
Okay. And again, I pose this question: how do we create a bridge between, to diffuse? That's the word I'm looking for. Diffuse this disparity that black men and black women have. Because I've said and I believe academics don't make you smart. It just means that you met an institution on certain standards and they acknowledge it through a piece of onion skin paper.
Just like your money and your job don't make you a good person.
Exactly.
Right.
So my point again is, how do we bridge this gap? That's I'm trying to find resolve. We can point fingers and say what this
Well,
person is
first of
not.
all, I think that black men and black women need to start looking at each other as humans, and that we all make mistakes, and that we all want love, and we need love. Therefore, we need to do the work to become friends. And black men need to step up and start protecting black women. Black women need to, you know, be there as um, a support system for the black man. She needs to become the helpmate. Need to help each other. We behind every race there is. Okay, at some point you got to put your weapons down and start looking at each other like humans.
So how do we do this when men, and I'm not just talking about women, I'm talking about men do it too. When we're looked at as a luxury, not a necessity. Somebody said this, let me finish.
I
Somebody
don't
said
know if
this,
we look at y'all as luxury, but no, I'm
well,
just playing. I'm just
somebody said this and
y'all
and
look
made
good. Y'all
so
look
much.
y'all some great specimens. Yeah.
Women, children, and animals, particularly dogs and cats, are loved unconditionally. Men are only loved based on what they can provide. Why is that?
Because they're held to a higher standard because they are men. Men are supposed to be the protectors, the providers, and the leaders. And if that's what society is looking at and you are not upholding that, then by all means, you will be walked away
Okay,
from. That's just
okay,
how it is.
okay. I agree with you on that. So how do we provide and protect and love and honor, do all the things you just said if we're not given the opportunity?
Okay, them opportunities when you have children, teach your children that as they're growing up. It may not carry on, but at least you did your part to try to make it carry on. So those that do carry it on, it's a chain reaction. It'll keep on going. It'll keep on going. It'll be embedded, and it'll happen over and over and over. Right now, there is no solution for Black people as a whole to bridge any gap anywhere because too many of us are trying to figure out who the hell we are, where we belong, and what we're going to do next.
Right, because you got to remember we're only 3 generations removed from slavery. So I mean, like I said, we got to stop giving each other a hard time, and basically look at everything like it is. And going back to that Jim Crow letter, if you read that,
Willie Lynch.
this.
Willie Lynch.
Yeah, the Willie Lynch, Jim Crow, they both was one of the same. You know, basically, them systems was put in place to make sure that we didn't come together. If you can even just do that part and be like, okay, this is systematic, this is why we're fighting, and stop all the infighting. And most of the stuff is just material issues or monetary issues that we're dealing with. In essence, you love the black man. and the black man loves the black woman. Just stop. Stop. Just heal yourself and let the walls come down, and then find the person that you're interested in and try to make something work.
Well, I think that's advice well taken, but again, you know,
Well, at the
I'm
end
not.
of the day, they better figure out something, because you're gonna be in these people world, and you're gonna make them some money.
Yeah,
What is it,
that's
about 13,000 a day just to have you into a rehabilitation uh home, for them to
no.
basically give you basic care when you could have found a loved one to, you know, be with?
Well, I don't think everybody's gonna have loved ones to take care of them, because I know a lot
No,
of
no,
people that do.
I was talking about the rehabilitation center, the business of it.
Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, that that is something to ponder. But I think that it's too much. I just think with the word independence, and I understand it, I respect it, and I even encourage it. But when you combine these three categories together, I just think that a lot of women, not all women, a lot of women, particularly uneducated women, take these things beyond what they were originally designed for. So and they become, because they're independent, because they believe that this is not the 50s or this is not the 70s, and so the world, the media has taught them to believe that because you raise one or two children on your own, you don't need a man, so you can basically say and do what you want to. But like you said, Alonda, we need each other, and that's what I'm trying to get back to, that need, that desire to be back together, to build our culture and build our communities back together. Instead of, when a person come, it's almost like I come waving a white flag, but you let me into your courtyard and then you shoot me down. You know what I'm saying? When white flag is international, it means peace.
Mm.
And so how do we? I don't know how do we create the dialogue? I guess if we can't bridge
Well,
the gap.
we're creating it right now, but uh maybe if it's a topic of a conflicting conversation, sometimes you might have to let that conversation go, and then find another topic and strengthen that. Like they say, you got to strengthen your weaknesses. Strengthening your strengths don't make no sense. It's already strong. So that part is already strong. Try to strengthen the weaknesses. So if you know you're not good at being in a relationship, you know, find a way, read a book, watch movies. I don't, do something to allow, that relationship stuff to start building. Look at couples that you admire, and, maybe, I don't, I don't know.
I think everybody as a whole has to always be the best that they can be in order to present themselves in a way that is attractive to the opposite sex. If you are a pretty package with a nice bow, and then you open it up and there's really no substance inside, no one's interested in that. Nobody wants that. But when
Right,
you're a nice package with a pretty bow and you open it up and ooh, and it's a pretty shiny something inside, now you've got interest in not just the packaging, but what's inside the package.
right.
So
Well,
if
So,
if you find that you are having or bumping heads or not getting along with or not being able to have lasting relationships with anybody, family, friends, coworkers, opposite sex, sometimes you have to take a step back and find out what's going on with you.
Mm-hmm.
If you
Yeah.
continuously run into conflict, let me just say it a different way. If you continuously run into conflict in your relationships, no matter what kind, business, love, friendship, family, if you continuously run into conflict and it's the same type of conflict and you're getting the same feedback from those people, when you have those conflicts, you have to take a step back and see what's going on inside. What's going on with you? Because there's
Mm-hmm.
no way one individual can't get along with every element of life.
Right.
You may not work out with love relationships, but your family relationships and your coworker relationships and your business relationships are phenomenal. Then that means you've only got a little bit to work on over here. And then in that aspect, it may not even be you. But if you can't get along in every avenue of your life with people, something's going on inside. And you have to touch on that and heal that and then come back and try it again. Because there's no
Mm-hmm.
way that individuals should not be able to communicate and get along with every aspect of one's life. That's just crazy. That's just crazy
Right.
to me.
Well,
Right.
true as that may be, Magic. Oftentimes, and I'm gonna use myself since you say I generalize so much. Um, my thing is, I'm stronger in certain areas as far as relationships go, and then I kind of lack in other areas.
Hmm.
But we have people, and it's just inherent in our DNA that we prejudge people. Now, this is a problem that I run into a lot, and this is it sours me, and it makes me put up this defense because I remember before I got the braces, and I didn't smile a lot because I was kind of embarrassed by the gap I had in the front of my teeth. Um, my thighs and my demeanor, because I come from an environment, or I had experiences that made me have to be on alert at all times. So when it's almost like the military, once you get trained or conditioned is the word, to be a certain way, it's kind of hard to navigate from that. Even in a world that's different from that world, you know. I don't know who this is, but I'm gonna put this up here so y'all can see it. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Spend time with yourself and find out what will make you happy. You attract people by your energy. Like finds like. Absolutely.
Yep. That is
Yeah,
so true.
that's on point. That is really on point.
And that's
Mm-hmm.
true. But back to my point, using me as an example, a lot of people um, misjudge me based on me not smiling.
Hmm.
I don't even have to say a word. And you know this, Solanda, because you
Mm-hmm.
made mention of it a few times at work. When I walk through and people see me because I'm not smiling, and it's not that I'm giving off no vibes that I'm just kill nobody or do no postal by any means. My mind is to
Mm-hmm.
come here and focus on the job at hand, complete my job, get my daily wages, and leave. Okay, and and at one time, you remember this, Solanda, because we came out in this industry about the same time. And it's
Right.
amazing. I've been in the union almost 30 years, though. I would, on breaks, I would go off from everybody, and I isolated myself from everybody. So I may have given that impression. But the reason I did that is not because I had any issues with anybody and was unable to communicate, is because I knew the mindset of the people that I was around. And I didn't want to partake in that gossip, that backbiting, stuff like that, because not that I felt I was better than anybody, but that's not my character. I don't get involved in stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I I think I created a reputation of being unapproachable. You know, and I was bitter at one time when we first got started because I felt a sense of entitlement because I had been in the union so long and I seen all these kids coming out and they were getting these opportunities that wasn't afforded to me because I wasn't a part of these little cliques and stuff. But anyhow, my point being this is that oftentimes people are misjudged or misread based on the aura they give off. And it don't necessarily mean that people can't communicate or have relationships because I have friends that I consider that I'm closer to than my own personal family, that I go and eat dinner at their house. They come to my house and eat dinner, the whole 9 yards. And it's a lot of people I don't even interact with like that. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't mean that I can't relate. It just means I'm selective on who I choose to relate to.
Right.
So I just wanted to kind of throw that out there, you know, because I know a lot of times people may say, well, you know, Ramont's, you know, very outspoken, and I am, you know, but the thing about it is that I only now speak about things when it pertains to me. I'm not like I used to be very boisterous and just go out and I hear people talking, I just verbalize their conversation. Now I walk by and hear something, I don't know, you know, whatever, you know, and I'll because I just don't have the energy for that nonsense anymore. And it's the same thing with these so-called relationships that I be getting into. And I don't think, and I agree with you, Magic, but I don't think, and I'm not going to blame it on the women all the time because sometimes it may be me. But here's my issue right here. I refuse to engage with any woman, and I don't date outside of my race, okay? But I refuse to engage with a woman that doesn't reciprocate the same energy as I do. If I'm reaching out to you, then give me that same balance, you know, because if you want to be put on a pedestal, you have to put yourself there. You know, I'm talking about my job is to try to relate to you and come to a compromise, as Alonda said. But if I can't do that because I'm calling you, I'm trying to reach out to you to go to dinner and go on dates, and you're always busy, and I say, okay, I'm gonna fall back. I'm gonna let you do your thing. I'm not gonna send no derogatory texts or anything like that. But when I start doing the same thing you do, then it becomes an issue. So why is that?
Because you're not compatible with that person. That's simple.
Yeah, and somebody is immature and like that
Yeah.
tit for tat battle, and you don't need to be in no confrontational relationships.
Yeah.
And that's just
As hard as relationships are,
you're trying to get away from confrontation. You're trying to get to
compatibility is not
compatibility.
supposed to be hard. The relationship will be hard to build and learn and be patient with one another. However, compatibility is compatibility. You can't just settle for and continue to chase behind or wonder and sit back and wait and go back and wait and go back with something that just isn't going to work. That's a waste of energy. It's a waste of time. If you're communicating with somebody that doesn't communicate that the way that you are desiring, then it's so simple just to not communicate with them anymore. If you've expressed, and because I'm really hard. Let me back up. If you have communicated to them what you choose and what you prefer as far as communicating, and they don't get it after you've tried, then it's a wrap.
Right. And in my case, I don't abuse myself in no form. I'm not going to abuse myself by taking your mess. I'm not abusing myself with your verbal confrontations. I'm not accepting abuse.
I'm not doing it. Yeah.
I'm not accepting. And that's a form of abuse.
Yeah.
You know, somebody has to walk away. It's either self-abuse or, you know, no, not happening.
Why continue to be frustrated, irritated, angry, and upset with someone that you hold yourself accountable, that you keep trying to communicate with, that isn't communicating with you the way you want them to? Why do that to yourself? Look at that energy you've exhausted trying to deal with somebody who's not going to even conform to what it is that you desire. By communicate, hey, this is the way I like to communicate. When I text you, please respond. You know, I'm not putting a time frame on it, but please at least acknowledge my text. I can't talk to you right now, but I'm acknowledging your text. If you let somebody know that's how you desire to communicate and they can't do that for you, then that person's not for you. That person's not for you.
Right.
They're not, I'm real old school. So I'm not one that reaches out until a man shows me that he's genuinely interested. If you call me daily or if you text me daily, then I know you're interested. So then I will follow up with that. I'm not going to call you. Don't ask me to call you because I'm not going to. If I see that you called, I will call you back. But I'm not gonna pursue you. I need a man to pursue you. Let me know that you're interested. Then I have a reason to deal with you.
Right.
I have a reason. I need a reason to deal with you.
Okay, so say for example, a man does do all the things that you desire or require, whichever one.
Okay.
Then what?
I'm over.
And they're gonna be.
I'm giving it back.
It's gonna be a relationship.
Yeah, I'm giving it right back. I'm giving it right back. I'm giving it. Right. I know what I require as a woman. I'm an only child first, so I'm spoiled as hell. Text me all day, call me all day.
I act like an only child.
Yeah, I love it. Call me all day. When I see you doing that, okay, he is interested because he's not going to just do this just because he's interested. Now let me, hey, how you doing? How was your day? Is your day, is your week off to a good week? Make the day about you. All right, black man, do your thing. That's me if I get it. But if I'm not getting that, okay, I'm good. I'm going to go over here and see what this one is doing. It's just I'm so old school when it comes to it. My daddy always told me when a man wants you, he's gonna come get you.
Right, he gonna show you. He gonna show you. Yeah.
When a man wants something like that pretty red car or that pretty blue car, he gonna save his money up, get his credit right, borrow, beg, scrap, or whatever he needs to do to get that car. Pursue your woman the same way.
Exactly.
If that woman that you're pursuing is not interested, confirm that and then move on. Go get another one. There's so many of them out there for you. Change the arenas in which you participate in to find what you're looking for.
Right. And me, I didn't get a hyphenated last name because I know I'm serious about my husband. I don't need Louis Kariakou. I specifically said no hyphenated name. And when I was serious, I was serious.
Okay.
Period.
I can respect that. That. Absolutely.
So you think that by you doing that and women doing it with the hyphenation that
I'm just saying me. I know how serious I know how serious I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And see, when I got married, I kept my maiden name because there is no other. My name is done. It's gone. I had a son, but I was married. He's got his dad's last name, not mine. But I did incorporate my maiden name in my son's name, but that's not his final last name. But I had a reason to hold on to my name. My daddy was the last of my name. And when he passed, I wanted to make sure that that name was still out there. It didn't mean I love my husband any less or anything, because if I ever marry again, I'm keeping that man's last name. Why? Because I had a whole major role in my life. I will just add on to it. Sure will.
Be like that little girl that got the 15 names. Be like,
That, I mean, he was a major part of my life. Major part of my life. We grew up together. We were friends as kids. So that name is significant. It means more than just my married name. It means a lot. My maiden name means a whole lot to me. But if I should get married again, of course, that man is going to mean the world to me. Should I marry again? And I would just have to hope that he would understand my stance on my names. Period. You know, so you find people that will roll with what you roll with. If they don't, they're not for you. It's that simple. People got to be okay with not being picked. I'm okay with not being picked because
there you go. Right.
I'm okay. I'm not doing this. Pick me, pick me, pick me. I'm gonna stand back. When he sees me, he gonna come get me. You know, he gonna see me through the crowd and come get me. I don't have to be out in front. I don't have to be standing out shining bright. If that man wants me, he's gonna come get me. Period.
So, Ramont, do you think that the person that you're gonna love or be in love with is here in Las Vegas, or you think they're gonna be somewhere else? I mean, would you like to date somebody like from a different country that's black or from down south? Because that seemed like more your type, down south, or maybe from somewhere else.
No, that's not.
He does know what he wants.
Okay, girl, he know what he wants. He went for it, didn't he? He went for it. He said, "Yeah, nope, not going there."
And coming from you, I'm not gonna even take that as an insult. You know, no.
Well, thank you again, Ramont, for the invite. I appreciate it. I look forward to the growth of your podcast. I mean, you've got a good platform. You just keep your storyline going, stand 10 toes down on what you're trying to accomplish. And, you know, it's going to take time. Be patient. It's going to take time. If this is really what you want, stick to it. Steadfast.
Yeah. And just to add to that knowledge right there, you got to remember this is the first Las Vegas relationship podcast. So that in itself, you got a long way to grow. I mean, you got a whole mountain to climb. Don't put a lot of pressure on yourself. That goes back to.
You got to put it out. Yeah. Let people go outside of the normal. When you in the store, make you some little flyers. You in the store, hey, I got a podcast. Start handing them out, talking about it. Like, just put it out there, and you'll get a lot of different people. There you go.
Yeah, I saw it.
You get a lot of different people that will engage and have something to say. They may not want to jump on and be on screen, but you'll get comments. You'll get people coming to your live talking. I've invited a couple people. Mr. Ray is one of my dearest, love him to death friends. We live in the same city. I invited him, told him about it, and here he is contributing and commenting. He may pass it on to somebody. So it's just all about, just keep doing what you do. Just keep doing it. Just keep doing it. And he's very knowledgeable. I love him to death. He's very knowledgeable. He's well versed in a lot of things. And, if he comes back again and can contribute, that would be awesome. Thank you for coming on, Mr. Ray. I appreciate you. But thank you again, Ramont, for the invite. Miss Alonda, it's always a pleasure to hear.
Yeah, pleasure.
I don't know when you're going to do it again, but if I can and you send me an invite, I will do my best to make it happen. I don't really have a lot to say, but
me neither, girl. Me neither. But no, this is like the perfect outlet because, as you know, in Vegas, you can't really find real friends to communicate with. And this is just a way that we can communicate because it's just hard dealing with people.
Right.
It's not even a black thing, a male, female thing. Is right now, I think this is a hard time for people to be real, to take off that mask and have a conversation.
Right.
Conversation is just too hard nowadays. So just this podcast alone is allowing me to have an outlet to communicate. So it just fits me well,
Right.
you know.
Right.
And like she said, thank you very much. I mean, this is great.
Yeah, thank you.
Well,
So good night, Miss Alonda. Good night, Ramon. I'm gonna
Good
go
night.
studying, and I'll see.
Good
Maybe
night.
see you on the next podcast.
okay.
All right. Have a good night.
Good night. We're gonna close out. Let me say this. With I like to again thank you, Alonda. You know, you're always an inspiration. You know, a lot of times I get kind of discouraged, you know, because of the feedback, and you know, Magic has also been an inspiration, and you know, all the people, Gerald, Ray, thank you for tuning in, and whoever else is watching tonight, thank you for your support, and we look forward to doing another show, and you know, get the laughs and have the fun. And you know, I love the dialogue. You know, like you said, you know, it creates a bond between us, even if nobody else is actually participating. So, with that being said, I don't know when you want to do the next one, Alonda.
Oh, I
I'm
thought you said Saturday, Wednesdays and Saturdays.
well. Somebody was saying that we need to do more, so I don't know. I'm off tomorrow, so I may throw one in tomorrow. You know,
Oh, well, I work, so.
yeah.
hmm
So I may do something tomorrow and do some kind of controversial. So who knows?
Hey, it all works. It all works.
So
Just keep it going. Don't give up. Just keep it
yeah,
going.
thank you. I love you. God bless you. Be safe tonight. You know, and I'll tell the hubby I send my love. Until
I
next
will.
time.
Love, love, love.
All right. Good night.
Good night.